2013 Abraham Lincoln Lynx.
The Lynx, some hungry cats early on. Abraham Lincoln runs wild against rival Thomas Jefferson. AL racks up 43 points in the first quarter en route to a 63-14 beatdown. The Lynx take some shots but find their way through, winning 5 of their first 7 games. Sixth-year head coach Justin Kamrad, not a happy camper. Abraham Lincoln, here on defense, loses its last 3. AL drops its first-round playoff game for the 6th year in a row. The Lynx end the season at 5-5. So, same old at Abraham Lincoln? Or is it? Head coach Justin Kamrad steps down a few months ago, and he's now on the staff at Lewis Central. And in his place, well, a former player and 4-sport athlete. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing John Wolf. Has it set in yet?
We're getting closer. We're getting closer. You know, I'm just like I've told a few people, I'm ready to start playing. There's a lot of paperwork, a lot of stuff like this and that sort of stuff that kind of grinds on you. But I love being out of practice with the kids, and I'm ready to get started.
And I'm sure you love this question, but I'm sure you've heard it a million times. My first reaction was, he's 26 years old?
Yeah, it gets old. Been a lot of places, a lot of jokes about that sort of stuff, but at the same time, it motivates you. You know, so I don't care. You know, when we get onto the field, and I'm sure I'll get some of those same reactions, from the other coaches and that sort of thing. But I know what I have to offer, and I know what our team has to offer. So, I wouldn't rather be anywhere else.
All right. Well, you've been in a couple of places the last number of years. Let's take a look at your resume. Played on varsity at AL 3 years. You go to Simpson. You led the team in picks a couple of years. Kick return yardage record, and then you spent the past 4 seasons at Adair Casey, an 8-man school. So how does each stop prepare you to be a head coach?
You know, the thing that I've learned over the years is all the coaches I had were very personable. They were great motivators. You know, Bob Forsythe at Abraham Lincoln, he's a fired-up guy. Glogowski at Simpson, same way. Wade Anderson at Adair. You know, and I've been with successful programs. So. At Adair, you know, we went 40-6, quarterfinals 3 times, semifinals once. So I've been around successful programs and just kind of learned how to relate to the players and how to win.
The Lynx, somewhat successful last season, just 5-5. 10 starters are back, but you lose Dylan Garner, a 1,000-yard rusher, and All-City Player of the Year in Brandon Colpitz. How do you replace those guys?
We got a lot of skill positions, players, and that sort of thing, and I think we'll be fine. You know, Peyton Heffernan, obviously coming in. We'll talk about him plenty, I'm sure. Only had 98 carries last year. That's a guy he's going to have to carry the rock quite a bit more this year. Shine Ostad at receiver, and you know, there's a number of other guys that'll fill roles, and they will all do it with a great ability. So I'm not concerned about what we lost. The only things that we lost that I would look at and say, you know, we're going to miss this or that. Is we've talked about, we're a little short on the line.
Right. You were telling me some of your areas of concern, depth-wise on the O-line, size-wise as well.
Yeah, it's we're in a position where we can't afford to lose anybody else. You know, we got a few guys that can fill in, and they'll spare our guys a few minutes here and there. But we can't lose a lot. We're not very big. We're not very deep. We don't numbers-wise, we don't have a lot of linemen. So we just can't afford to lose anymore, but we'll make do with what we got. And I think what we got is great, and it's good enough to win, that's for sure.
Is Josh Krabby going to start at quarterback, and if he is, how does he compare to his brother Jake?
That's to be determined, right? You know, and you always say it's an open battle, right? So we've got we've got our scrimmage tomorrow evening, or Thursday evening, sorry, and that'll tell us more. We'll get those guys in live action for the first time since football camp over the summer. We'll see what we got, and as far as how he compares to his brother, they both threw great balls. Josh is a little smaller, but they're both smart. You know, he's making the reads. He's reading both sides of the field, and we look for great things from him.
Okay, you talked about Peyton Heffernan. He averaged over 9 yards per carry last year, but then again, defensively, I felt like the Lynx had to score a lot because they gave up over 27 points a game, so put a lot of pressure on the offense. Lost a number of guys on the D side from a year ago. Give me some names. Who's going to step up?
Step up, Tony Outlaw, Nick Hopkins. They'll be probably looking at DN, that sort of thing. Peyton will still have to step up at safety. We got some corners that are going to fill in and that sort of thing. Some new backers, some younger blooded backer. Mason Motter transferred in from Omaha South. He's looking at vying for a backer position, and he's a guy that's been very aggressive. You know, it's been great. So I think we'll be fine. Like I said, we're a little short up front, but we can fill it in behind, and we'll be all right.
Does anything stand out on the schedule? Because this is your first rodeo. Any particular game or week stand out?
You know, I love our schedule, honestly. You know, we don't leave town for the first month. We're home away, but they're both, you know, TJ and LC, and then we're home again. So I think week 5 or 6 we go to Valley. That one stands out. I mean, that's kind of a landmark. Where are you really at? You know, we could win those first 4 or 5 or whatever it is, and if you go and if you lay an egg there, you kind of see where you're at on the state level. So that, you know, that's just something we talk about too with our kids is we talk about, you know, they complain about all state selections and things of that nature, and I tell them, you know, all these Des Moines kids that are getting on it, well, until we start beating those Des Moines schools regularly, that's the way it's going to be. So you got to make a name for yourself.
Let's talk about yourself. I watched you at the 7-on-7 against Glenwood. The Adair coaches told me that you're kind of a quiet guy. You just take it all in. You're not a screamer. Is that how you hope it goes this year?
You'd love it to go that way, wouldn't you? No, you know, I was actually joking with I met one of our officials the other day, and I said, you know, if I'm yelling at you, you really screwed up. I'm pretty mild-mannered.
Right.
You know, and I think everybody's got their own coaching style.
Right.
And I think mine works just as good as the next because we got kids. Kids nowadays are a little more sensitive than they used to be, you know, and that sort of thing. So I think even I personally in high school, I would rather been spoken to and told what to do, and I didn't need to be screamed at. And I got a lot of kids like that now too. So we got a lot of coaches. We got different abilities on our staff. You know, we got a few that'll yell at them, a few that'll motivate them, and then we got a few that'll talk to them, tell them what we need to do, right?
Well, I'll tell you, we're all looking forward to that first game of the year, John Wolf. I appreciate you coming in very, very much, and I can't wait to see you down the road.
I appreciate it.